The set of The Kelly Clarkson Show transformed from its usual upbeat, musical vibe into an unexpected pressure cooker when Blake Shelton made an appearance that would quickly spiral into controversy. What was intended to be a lighthearted segment, celebrating their long-running friendship and mutual history on the voice quickly soured when Kelly brought up a topic that visibly shifted Blake's mood. A joke about Blake ditching country roots for Hollywood flash didn't land as intended. Blake responded sharply, telling Kelly, I haven't forgotten where I came from, so let's not start spinning headlines. Kelly, clearly taken aback, tried to recover with laughter, but the tension was already crackling across the studio. What followed was an unscripted, emotionally raw exchange between two friends turned sparring partners. Blake challenged the narrative Kelly and the show's writers seemed to be pushing, while Kelly defended the tone of the segment as being in good fun. Producers signaled for a break, but before cameras could cut, Blake stood up, removed his mic, and muttered, "I don't need this," as he walked off set. The audience fell into stunned silence while Kelly attempted to smooth things over with an off-the-cuff apology. But the damage was already done, and the clip exploded across social media within hours. Backstage sources confirmed that while Blake and Kelly shared a long-standing professional bond, this clash had been brewing beneath the surface for months. Tensions reportedly began during their final season together on The Voice, with creative differences and subtle jabs exchanged on and off camera. While neither had publicly acknowledged any strain, Blake's departure from the show and pivot toward more personal projects only widened the rift. The walk-off prompted a firestorm of online reactions, with fans divided, some defending Blake's reaction as justified, citing the media's tendency to bait celebrities, while others accused him of overreacting to what they viewed as harmless banter. Kelly addressed the incident in a follow-up episode, admitting that although the comment was meant in jest, intent doesn't always match impact, and she wished she had chosen her words more carefully. Despite the fallout, both camps denied any permanent damage to their friendship, but joint appearances were quietly shelved, and mutual collaborations halted indefinitely. Industry insiders noted that what made the moment so compelling wasn't just the walk-off, it was that two of TV's most beloved personalities had shown the world just how thin the line can be between chemistry and conflict, especially when millions are watching. In the days following Blake Shelton's dramatic exit from The Kelly Clarkson Show, insiders close to the production revealed that the outburst was not entirely spontaneous. Tensions had reportedly been mounting during the lead-up to the interview, with Blake privately expressing discomfort over some of the planned talking points, particularly those poking fun at his move to Los Angeles and semi-retirement from touring. Blake, who had always prided himself on staying true to his Oklahoma roots, felt the script mocked his authenticity, especially when paired with light-hearted digs about his evolving image. Although Kelly insisted that the tone was meant to be playful and based on their long-running rapport, Blake apparently viewed it as a betrayal, especially coming from someone he once called a true friend. Sources from the set said that even before taping began, there were noticeable signs of friction. Blake arrived late, skipped pre-show run-throughs, and remained aloof with crew members. When the cameras rolled and Kelly delivered the now infamous Hollywood cowboy quip, it was as though the lid finally came off. Blake's reaction was more than just a moment of anger. It was an eruption years in the making, fueled by simmering resentments, career shifts, and what he saw as a lack of respect from a former confidant. The public fallout was swift and intense. Within hours, entertainment media outlets were flooded with speculation, think pieces, and leaked backstage reports, all attempting to dissect what had gone wrong between two of television's most likable personalities. While Kelly's team issued a carefully worded statement acknowledging the unexpected turn the segment took and reaffirming her appreciation for Blake's career, Shelton's camp remained notably silent, fueling rumors that he was considering a permanent break from daytime television appearances altogether. Meanwhile, fans on social media waged a virtual war, with hashtags like #TeamBlake and #StandWithKelly trending simultaneously. The incident also reignited conversations about the pressures celebrities face to play into caricatures of themselves, and how even well-intended humor can cut deep. Some critics praised Blake for drawing the line on being the punchline, while others chastised him for reacting so strongly to a scripted joke. And months later, Kelly would allude to the incident in a radio interview, saying only, "Sometimes even people you love just aren't on the same page anymore." Blake, on the other hand, refused to comment further, choosing instead to focus on his music and his family life with Gwen Stefani. Though the dust eventually settled, the clash served as a cautionary tale about how quickly personal history and public expectation can collide and combust in live television. Asterisk behind the scenes. Staff from the Kelly Clarkson Show later disclosed that attempts were made to smooth things over during a commercial break after Blake Shelton's walk-off. But the damage had already been done. Kelly, visibly shaken but maintaining her poise, reportedly stepped backstage herself to talk to Blake, privately hoping to clarify intentions and salvage the friendship. However, the conversation turned into another tense standoff, with Blake accusing her of turning the show into a roast, and Kelly pushing back, saying it was all in the spirit of fun and familiarity. Witnesses said Blake's demeanor was a mix of hurt and fury, emotions not often seen in the typically laid-back country star. He reportedly said, "If I can't come on a friend's show without being blindsided, maybe it's time I stop showing up." Crew members described the atmosphere as heartbreaking, with many having worked with both stars for years and never imagining their on-air chemistry could dissolve so publicly and painfully. After that, Blake left the set entirely, skipping scheduled press photos and abruptly canceling the rest of his New York media tour. The show scrambled to rework its schedule, and Kelly returned from the break with a slightly altered tone, thanking viewers and moving on as best she could. But the air of awkwardness lingered for the remainder of the episode. Asterisk in the aftermath. Industry insiders began speculating on what this incident meant for future celebrity appearances on daytime talk shows. Blake's departure wasn't just dramatic, it was symbolic of a broader tension brewing between celebrities and the platforms meant to promote them. Many wondered aloud if talk shows had lost their sense of genuine conversation in favor of manufactured viral moments, and if guests were increasingly being set up to be provoked rather than celebrated. For Blake, the clash marked a turning point. Though he made a few low-key TV appearances later that year, he noticeably avoided any shows hosted by Kelly Clarkson or her close affiliates. Meanwhile, Kelly leaned into more musical segments and interviews with rising stars, subtly shifting her show's tone in a way that suggested she was also trying to move forward. The incident was never formally addressed again on the show, but it remained a topic of fascination in tabloids and late night monologues for months. For fans, it was a jarring reminder that even the most seemingly easygoing relationships in the entertainment world can fall apart when egos, expectations, and emotions collide in front of millions. Asterisk months later, Blake Shelton finally broke his silence during a podcast appearance, offering his side of the now infamous walk-off from the Kelly Clarkson Show. Speaking with surprising vulnerability, he admitted that the incident had struck a nerve deeper than anyone knew. It wasn't just what she said that day, Blake explained. It was how it felt like a build-up, like people expected me to just laugh everything off all the time. He shared that he had been going through personal stress unrelated to the show and felt ambushed by jokes that hit closer to home than Kelly may have realized. Blake also acknowledged that he could have handled things differently, saying, "I probably shouldn't have walked out. I should have stayed and talked it through, but sometimes you just hit a wall." Listeners were stunned by the candor, and the episode quickly trended across social media. Kelly Clarkson, when asked about Blake's comments later in a separate interview, expressed regret that things had escalated and emphasized her long-standing respect for him. "I've always loved Blake," she said. "It was a rough day. I never intended to hurt him," though neither confirmed if they had reconciled. Personally, fans clung to the hope that their friendship might still be salvageable. Asterisk. Despite the emotional fallout, producers on both sides attempted to learn from the clash. Behind the scenes, Kelly's team reportedly revamped how they prepped guests for segments, aiming for more transparency about tone and content. Meanwhile, Blake's representatives became more selective about his media appearances, steering him toward formats where he had more control over the conversation. The incident also sparked industry-wide discussions about how unscripted moments once seen as gold for ratings might come at the cost of personal relationships and reputations. As for Kelly and Blake, public interactions between the two remained non-existent. But mutual friends hinted that they were slowly opening lines of communication again. In Nashville, where both stars had long been part of the same tight-knit music, community colleagues reported that, while the trust may have been dented, the shared history between them wasn't so easily erased. For many fans, the entire episode was a bittersweet reminder of how quickly things can unravel even between people who once seemed unbreakable. Yet in their honesty and human flaws, both Blake and Kelly may have offered something more enduring than a perfect friendship, a real one. Months after the highly publicized incident, the entertainment industry continued to buzz with speculation about whether Shelton and Kelly Clarkson would ever publicly reconcile, though neither directly addressed the clash on their respective shows. Subtle gestures hinted at thawing tensions. Blake was seen liking one of Kelly's Instagram posts, an innocuous moment that set social media ablaze with speculation. Tabloids poured over it as a possible sign that the two were inching toward peace. Meanwhile, Kelly was spotted backstage at the Country Music Awards chatting with Gwen Stefani, Blake's wife, in what sources described as a warm, friendly exchange. That interaction further fueled rumors that Kelly and Blake might eventually meet face-to-face again under less strained circumstances, according to a mutual friend who spoke anonymously to a prominent magazine. Both stars had privately expressed a desire to move past the clash but were struggling with the optics of reuniting. After such a public falling out, they care about each other, the insider claimed, but neither wants to seem like they're crawling back. Behind the cameras, both camps reportedly made quiet efforts to extend olive branches. Kelly's team allegedly sent Blake a handwritten note weeks after the taping, expressing regret that things got heated and reaffirming her respect for his talent and career. Though Blake didn't respond directly, he reportedly mentioned the letter to friends as a classy move. Over time, his responses to questions about the incident softened. Rather than taking jabs, he pivoted to focus on lessons learned. Live TV can get messy, he said during a radio interview, but that doesn't mean the people involved are bad.
We're all human.
These comments didn't go unnoticed by Kelly's side, and her producers subtly adjusted upcoming segments to emphasize empathy, balance, and boundaries, especially when dealing with longtime friends as guests. While a formal reconciliation had yet to materialize, fans and media alike noticed the change in tone from both stars. No one expected them to become best friends overnight, but many held out hope that one day they might share a stage again, not to rehash the past, but to remind audiences that even celebrity friendships can survive the fire. Asterisk.